in this video was brought to you by Nosler, maker of the most innovative, most accurate, and most effective bullets and ammunition in the industry. In 2019, I did a First Mag review where I said this about my Daniel Defense MK18.
This will probably not live like this for very long. This is just kind of my initial setup with the EOTech. Of course, you know, you have D-ball, surefire mounted light. Some of these things will stay, but for the most part, when you see this rifle again, it'll probably look completely different. But as it stands, this is the current setup.
Being true to my word, this is how my Daniel Defense MK18 looks now. Basically, I turned what's supposed to be strictly a CQB rifle into a CQB Recce Rifle of sorts. I know some of you are asking yourself, why would you do that? And here's why.
Why?
Why? Because we fucking can! Because we fucking can! And if we can, we do!
So, what exactly did I do? Well, let's start with the stock and work our way forward. I have the thing for small minimalist style stocks, especially on SBRs. I saw the LWRC compact stock while scrolling through Instagram and immediately wanted it on my MK18. Besides the looks, there's nothing super amazing about this stock, but I also don't ask much for my stocks. Just be sturdy, give me a good cheek weld, have the sling attachment points that I need, and look good, and this stock does all of those things. Charging handle. Shooting suppressed on a direct impingement rifle can be a very shitty experience if you get a ton of gas blowback. This is why I put the RAPTOR SDSL charging handle in my MK18. This charging handle is designed to redirect the gas blowback from my suppressor away from me. I also like how low profile it is. I'm weird about my charging handles. Sometimes I like them a little wide and thick, and sometimes I like them small and low profile. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just used my charging handle to describe my taste in women. You ever thought about making a living in the firearm industry? If you enjoy gun repairs, ballistics, and learning about firearms, Sonoran Desert Institute online courses might just be a good fit for you. To find out more about them, visit www.sdi.edu today. The grip. At this point, you should be seeing a theme here. I'm trying to keep things on this rifle pretty low profile. This is where the Reptilia grip comes in. Aesthetically, I love the grip on smaller rifles. From an ergonomic standpoint, it's good. However, if you get it stippled like I have on my Scar, it's phenomenally ergonomic. Unless you have giant hands, then this grip might be a little too small for you. Aesthetically, I think it's one of the best looking grips on the market. It's simple, clean, minimalist design that works perfect for SBRs. I will say it can look a little underwhelming on full-size rifles though. Safety selector. As the old saying goes, it's the little things that count. This can't be more true than when you're talking about your selector switch. A bad selector switch can be really annoying. A good selector switch can be a game changer. On my MK18, I'm running the RADIAN TALON selector with a 45-degree throw. I love a 45-degree throw on my selectors because they're so fast. When you're just having a relaxing range day, you won't notice the difference. But at a course where you're constantly putting your safety on and off, it makes life better. No, seriously, it makes life that much better. The trigger. If I'm gonna be honest, the trigger on my MK18 is not the best trigger for what is a self-defense focused rifle. GEISSELE makes a trigger that would technically be better, but I love this Super 3 gun dynamic GEISSELE trigger in my MK18 because of its multiple personalities. It's a two-stage trigger, but if you treat it like a single-stage trigger, you'd never know it. It's super fast and aesthetically, I really like the flat face trigger design. Optics and mounts. The only thing that makes my MK18 remotely a Recce rifle is my optic setup. Keep in mind, CQB Recce isn't actually a thing. It's something I made up to describe a CQB rifle that has the optic setup of a Recce rifle. The two optics I have on my MK18 are the LEUPOLD Mark III HD 1.5-4 and the LEUPOLD Delta Point Pro Red Dot. I'm under no delusion that this rifle is a long-range rifle. That said, you start pushing the limits of this rifle at 300 yards, and I don't know about you, but even with my contacts, shooting at 300 yards with no magnification kinda sucks. So my Mark III HD is for shooting out past 200. 200 I can do confidently with my red dot. I have my Mark III HD sitting in the SCALARWORKS LEAP 08 mount. This is easily my favorite mount for low powered variable optics, or LPVOs. It's a quick detach and confusingly lightweight, and sits at the perfect height and is freakishly easy to mount optics on. Between how lightweight the Mark III HD is and this mount, my Mark 18 looks heavier than it actually is. The rail. We've come now to the part of the Mark 18 that is probably driving all of the Mark 18 fanboys insane. My rail. There's no denying that what makes a Mark 18 a Mark 18 is the legendary Res 2 quad rail. But man, this GEISSELE Super Modular Mark 13 M-LOK rail is just too sexy and lightweight not to put it on my Mark 18. I know I would be adding weight to my Mark 18 with my optics setup, so the weight I added going with an LPVO and a red dot, I lost going with this rail while adding a ton of sexy. I'm not saying the quad rail wasn't sexy, it was just a tad bit dated for me, and I want to modernize my Mark 18. At least this one. The light. Almost all of my guns that have lights have surefire lights. My Mark 18 is no exception. I'm a surefire fanboy, and my favorite surefire light for rifles is their mini scout light. I've beat up so many scout lights and they just keep going. I love them. And this is why I have one on my Mark 18 with the pressure switch. The suppressor. Continuing with the surefire theme, my go-to suppressor for my Mark 18 is the SOCOM 556 Mini 2. I absolutely adore this suppressor because it's indestructible and small while suppressing my Mark 18 enough that I won't blow my ears out if I shoot it without hearing protection. The Mini 2 is actually made to be run on rifles with about a 14.5-inch barrel, but on my Mark 18, it does the job just fine for me. I'm not a stickler for having the quietest gun in the world. I just want it to take the edge off, and the Mini 2 does that and some. My Mark 18 is my unofficial go-to rifle. It's not that I just love this rifle, it's more that I am incredibly comfortable with this rifle. If I'm taking a course, my mind naturally thinks to bring the Mark 18. I said if I ever find myself in some urban civil unrest and I need a rifle to defend myself with, I'll likely grab my Mark 18. It's like putting on your favorite t-shirt and jeans. I can shoot all the fancy rifles in the world, but for whatever reason, I always feel the most comfortable with my Mark 18.
You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.